One of the things that they did during this crisis, which as it happened, I knew it was going to be a problem, and I remember it clear as day, was this concept of basically carte blanche telling people you don't have to pay your mortgage. Don't worry about it. You're having a rough time, set it aside. We won't charge you any late fees. We won't report to credit. You can take this time off. It's a tough time in the economy. Take the time off and go forward from there. Sounds nice in theory, but in reality, it's undoable. It's undoable because the people making that promise have nothing to do with your loan. Nothing. They don't own your loan. They don't service your loan. They have no relationship to your loan whatsoever. And so a government entity can make that decision, or Fannie Mae can make that decision, or HUD can make a guiding decision. But at the end of the day, they don't actually service these loans and make these immediate decisions. So while, sure, it was a needed thing, I think, in many ways, to say to some people, if you need a break because you can't pay your mortgage. Now, again, and the premise obviously was fair. The premise was, listen, it wasn't anyone's fault. The entire country was shut down overnight. So if you're shut down, I mean, gee whiz, how are you supposed to make any money? You're not. And so it obviously leads to that. It leads to that subject of, is it a valid thing to give people a break? The biggest problem they did with it was this open and shut kind of no analysis of who should get it and who should not get it. The same as far as my opinion on how silly it's been that they were giving unemployment to many people that exceeded their income, which is just pure insanity. That's just pure. I won't even go into it. But at the end of the day, there were people that really needed help. Sure, they couldn't pay their mortgage. And if you can't pay your mortgage and you say, listen, I don't want to destroy my credit. I've worked hard for my credit, but I just simply have no money. I have no money in the bank. I have no job. I have no income coming in. How can I pay my mortgage? For that person, taking advantage of the forbearance program was the right thing to do, and a needed thing to do, because what was the alternative? What? You can't make the money grow from trees. So you took advantage of that. You contacted your mortgage servicer and you found out whatever it is that they're offering. And for the most part, everyone was offering the same thing, which was, don't worry about it. We're not going to be reporting any lates. We'll put you in forbearance. And then when this crisis resolves itself, we'll discuss what options are going to be. And that was where part of the problems, I think, led to some real issues, because it was still an unknown. What's going to happen? And there was talk of, okay, we'll tack it on to the back end of the mortgage, which at least is the only thing that makes relative sense. There was some talk of saying, all right, after the COVID, after let's say the 3-month period or a 6-month period, you have to catch up right away. Well, that makes no sense whatsoever. If you don't have money to make your mortgage payment in March and April, you're certainly not going to have 6 mortgage payments in July. It's just silly. And so it left a really gray area with what to do. But as I said, and I guess my point here was that there were people who needed it. But the problem is that a lot of people, I would say, frankly, a majority of the people who didn't pay their mortgage were not people who could not pay their mortgage, but instead chose to not pay their mortgage. And it doesn't mean they're bad people, and it doesn't mean they were even necessarily trying to take advantage of the system, because the truth of the matter is, if you looked at how this situation was presented to clients, what was it? It was saying, listen, it's a terrible time. We're not reporting your rates. As a matter of fact, let's go further than that. There were plenty of mortgage companies that automatically put everyone into forbearance without any request. You didn't even know. We could pull up someone's credit and it would show your mortgage was in forbearance. You might continue to be paying it, so you'd never know, but they automatically did it, and they did it deliberately so that no one would be reported late. And that's fine, but it's opened up a real interesting dynamic now, and which is sort of where I took a very long-winded point, not uncommon for me, which is right now we've got the most historic low rates ever, and you are dealing with a large portion of homeowners who are going in and trying to take advantage of the market right now and finding out that because they took advantage of this forbearance and because they didn't pay their mortgage, it is now preventing their ability from refinancing.